Okay, in this presentation we're going to look at how to set up an imported data set as a data frame. Now, if you're familiar with the R programming language, you've probably came across data frames because they're inbuilt into R. If you type in iris into R, you get a data frame. That's the famous iris data frame. So what we're going to do here is we are going to import a CSV file from my PC here, okay, or my laptop. And what we're going to do is import it into a Jupyter Notebook so we can have a look at it. Okay, now I have everything written out here. But what we would do first off, before we'd actually get to our Jupyter Notebook, our iJulian Notebook, is we would run these commands in the command line interface before we start up the Julian Notebook. We would run these two commands first just to make sure that they are both active and present and that we can use them. Okay, so this will be what I have highlighted there would sort of take place at the command line interface before we open up the notebooks. Okay, so and in a different presentation I showed you how to sort of set up a new notebook. In fact, this is the very same notebook that I did in that presentation. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is state the packages we're going to use. Okay, data frames and CSV. CSV obviously being a reference to the CSV file. Okay, now the data set I'm going to use is actually located in my working directory, and it is actually located directly in the very same folder that this was created in, this Jupyter Notebook. Actually, let's just actually sort of see, can I find it there? New notebook. Okay. I can't actually, not easily. I'll tell you what, just take my word for it. It's in the background in the very same folder. Okay. So what we're going to do here is, first off, we're going to run that using data frames and using CSV file, CSV. You can actually write that in the same line. I'm not going to get into the habit of that just yet, but I will in a while. Okay. So we have data frames on CSV. What I'm going to do here is run this command here, csv.file, okay, for this SBP CSV file, okay. Now, SBP means systolic blood pressure, and it's a data set I'm going to use quite often, but essentially I just want to get it in. So the command is csv.file, and that will import that CSV file into my Jupyter Notebook environment, okay. Now, the thing about it is, let's just give it a second there. The thing about it is, it actually materializes it as a CSV file. Okay, it's not that easy to work with directly. Essentially, what this does is sort of sets it up so it can be used in another, like a Jupyter Notebook, or sorry, a database and so on. So essentially, it's a halfway. It's half the job done. Okay, so if we, for example, wanted to check out the type. I just actually meant to just write that there. Let's just actually sort of have a quick look at that. See, it's not a whole lot we can work with. That's why I called it test, actually, just to sort of demonstrate that it really isn't, that's nothing we can really work with there. So we have to do a second step here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to load it up. The same thing again, okay, import it using the CSV file command, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to materialize it as a data frame, okay. So there are other options you can take here, but essentially what I want to do is just materialize it as a data frame, and I want to work with data frames a lot. So let's just run this command. There we go. And first is essentially, let's just look at the first 5 rows of this data set, SBP data set. Let's give it a second there. Let's scroll down. Perfect. Okay. So really, I think actually everything we have in shot here is what we need. So we can do a lot with this now. This is sort of, we're in the situation where we can do similar sort of things to R. Okay. And work with this data set and study it. And what I will do is do some summary statistics, and then I will fit some models later on. But essentially, we have a big job done, is that we have it in there ready to go and ready to work with. So we leave it there.